Hello, friends and family. Welcome to day 50, cycle 3, day 7 of my 9 using the R-EPOCH immuno/chemotherapy. Thank you for joining me on the journey today. Let's get into status. Eating is our first status, and it's not good news. I have reached some milestones today I'm not happy to share with you. So yes, very, very nauseous today. Actually, the nausea caught me by surprise. I think I've reported consistently for the last 50 days that the nausea comes on worse and worse as the day goes on. Today it got me right at the beginning. So I woke up, I should say I didn't sleep great, and I didn't feel great while I was sleeping. Woke me up a couple times, but I slept-ish. When I got up this morning, I had initially taken the day off from work, and then made the decision, since we delayed everything, that I would go in and see how I did, and I just cut the day short when I didn't feel well. I didn't really know when that was going to happen. In any case, I got on, I started, reached out to a few people, set up a meeting, took my pills, got my oatmeal ready, got my, started sipping the water, get going, because I'm very worried about my intake. So I did all that. I was only a few bites into the oatmeal. I took the meeting, which we cut short, maybe 20 minutes instead of 30, because I wasn't feeling well. I took my pills. I had a few bites of oatmeal. I decided to stop. Kept drinking, little sips. Had about 24 ounces of fluid. Decided, nope, my day's over. Shut my computer down, went to lay down, was talking to Bill, and suddenly darted out of bed. I was like, can't talk, gotta go. And promptly lost, unfortunately, my pills, I think. Hard to say what stayed down. My oatmeal and the fluid, which probably, represents just under a liter, which is pretty significant. So I was upset about that. This was the first time that I actually regurgitated anything during this treatment, which is fairly miraculous because I spent 2 entire pregnancies tossing my cookies and my last chemo. So I guess the moral here is that every chemo session is like every pregnancy. They could be different. So disappointed from the perspective of it's not fun experience, but not, I'm pretty experienced at it. So it wasn't the end of the world, but I'm today was the day I wanted to keep my fluids up. I was concerned, yada, yada, yada. So that was upsetting to me, but otherwise, then afterwards, I didn't realize what was going on. I took a Zofran. I laid down probably for 45 minutes to an hour, kind of chilled, sipped, very small sips. And also today I started adding juice again to my water or my seltzer because I can't tolerate just the water. So that's the kind of not so good news for today regarding that. And I hope that, now that I know, that I'll keep on top of it a little better. The other thing that caught me by surprise was yesterday they gave me the IV anti-anemic. I think it was Aloxi. And that's actually supposed to last for 4 or 5 days. However, we know that the effects of the chemotherapy is cumulative. So now I'm on the 3rd cycle. It's going to be a little more impactful. Overall, still nauseous most of the day. And I probably will take more anti-anemics, either Zofran or the other meds, if I really start to feel pretty bad. But where was I going with that? There was a portion of the day that wasn't horrible. I did definitely chill. I recognized, and maybe that was my fault, to the point, and maybe that was the issue. Going to work, sitting up, and using my brain all at the same time, that's not acceptable. My body was like, no thank you. I don't know. But, I think I'm in that phase of the chemo cycle where I just need to chill. So it's either lay in bed, read, crochet, whatever it is that chill zone for a few days. So that's what I'm going to focus on. Okay, so I digress. So back to eating. I've already told you about the nausea. The mouth pain has increased significantly. I did magic mouthwash twice today instead of once. The teeth are starting to hurt again, so hopefully that'll ease up. No throat pain yet, so that's somewhat good news. The weight went up again. Here's a picture of my little graph from yesterday. You can see it just creeping up. Now we're at 1.5 kilos higher than I was over the high end. So I think that puts me, 5.5, 4.5 overall, which is disappointing. But, we'll just ride with it. Fluid. So yesterday I took in 96 by mouth orally, and then 9 ounces by IV with the last chemo. So that's 105, or a little bit over 3 liters. And the outs, which again don't exactly match, came in at 2.6, which I'm pretty happy with because I think I lost probably a liter with the vomiting, which was very upsetting to me. I want the water, anything to flush. I don't want anything to go the wrong way. And I think that was what made me most upset about the vomiting this morning, was I really was focused on flush, flush, flush. Flush the kidneys, flush the bladder. But I don't think there's a concern. When I was at the doctor's office today for the shot, I asked about that. They said, if you feel bad tomorrow and you think you're not getting enough fluids, call us and we'll have you come in and they'll just hook me up to an IV bag of saline or glucose, if whatever's needed, probably saline. And then I asked, I'm like, well, how much? I'm worried because I took the Cytoxin yesterday and I want to make sure I'm flushing. And she said, oh, well, we recommend 40 to 60 ounces a day for flushing. And I'm like, I'm trying to get to 80 or 100. So I'm like, maybe I'm okay. Maybe that liter that I lost this morning, it's upsetting to me, but it's not going to be the end of the world. So fingers crossed there. All right, so let's talk about the rest of the chemo symptoms. The neuropathy's okay. I feel it a little bit more today, but not excruciating, and it's not interrupting. I don't think I've been dropping or any of that kind of stuff. Status quo, no change on the hair loss. No nose clots. Night sweats again, yes. No headache, a little bit of fatigue, but I think that's related to the vomiting and just overall, it's catching up with me. The chemicals are catching up. Red skin seems to have eased back, and there is chemo brain. I was having a little bit of struggle sticking on task, although I'm jumping around today. Sorry, guys. I had a robotics meeting today, and the students, as well as some of the other mentors, said, no, you're making sense. So I think the brain is somewhat working, so that's good, as long as I take it in little fits and starts, right? Bits and bobs. All right, so that is the chemo symptoms. Let's move on to sleep. Sleep was not good. I think part of it was just not feeling well. Part of it's still the prednisone in the system, et cetera, et cetera. 4 hours and 54 minutes. So I was up. It was another one of those where I was up for a segment of the night and then I went back to sleep. Additionally, Bill's not feeling great, so I think he might have woken me up a little bit in there, but not sure. So hoping to have better sleep tonight, and definitely have the day off tomorrow, so there's no rush to get my body out of bed. I'm just going to relax until it's time. I'm going to listen to my body. Let's see. Movement was pretty good yesterday. I did 8,300 steps, which is pretty good. And then look at this. Kind of cool. So my Fitbit I have set to check every hour. So it starts at 9 a.m. and ends at 9 p.m. And if you get 250 steps per hour, which is not much, but it's movement, regular movement, right, throughout the day, not just concentrated, then you get these little, So yesterday, for the first time in quite a while, I made my goal of moving at least 250 steps every hour, which was pretty cool. So I'm sharing it with you right here. Like a little badge. Kind of a mini reward. Okay, my vitals were fine today. All right, so doctor news. I think some of it I've already talked about, but I'll mention it again. Sorry. I got my Neulasta shot. I mentioned already I could go in tomorrow for hydration if I feel like I need it, or I'm really too nauseous to even drink, and et cetera, et cetera. But I did continue to drink today. So far I'm doing pretty well. So I'm not as concerned as I was this morning. They did another labs today, just a finger stick. So I got another CBC. I'll share that here. It's a little bit different format, but it's the same data. I think the things that were somewhat interesting, sorry, I'm going to look at the paper, was that my white count came down, which we expected. That's why I go for the Neulasta shot. Not by a lot, but like half a point, a little over half a point, which is significant because of the range. But my red counts seem to be going up or holding, and my platelets came down, which I think I told you yesterday were quite elevated. That's mostly due to the prednisone, so that might be an indicator that the prednisone is working its way out of the system. So I'm just sharing. There's nothing really remarkable. They're pretty much the same, but a little bit of trending you could do if you wanted to look at day over day. Both myself and the lab tech were like, why are we doing this again? Didn't we just do this yesterday? But, you do what the doctor says as if. Okay, what else do I have? Doctor's news. Oh, I did get the paperwork that goes with the call that I got about the PET scan approval, which was a little bit disappointing. And in the paperwork, it says I'm approved for one PET scan until July. So if the doctor determines I need another one, we have to go through the process. Now, hopefully, since they approved it once, they'll approve it again and we don't have to go through the rigmarole, but I really don't know what's going to happen there. I could ask the doctor the next time I talk to him. Let's see. I think that is all the doctor news I have for you. So let's move on to mental health. Headspace Noodle. So my mental health today, my motto, my mantra, I don't know what I'd call it today, was remember to find the good. So as you already heard, the day did not start great, but I've been trying to remember to find the good. So here's my quote. Any day above ground is a good day. Before you complain about anything, be thankful for your life and the things going well. Germany, Kent. I thought that was pretty good. And now those of you who know me personally know that throughout my illness, Bill's illness, anything that's going on, when you ask how's everything going, and I don't have anything particularly good to say or new and exciting or whatever, I will always respond with, everyone's breathing, I can't complain, which is kind of the same message, right? You know, we're all here. We have to be grateful for that. So everyone's breathing. Be grateful for the life. And I guess to go further with to remember to find the good, as a result of me feeling pretty miserable for a portion of the day, my family was very caring and cherishing and protective and cared for me. Took me out of the caregiver role today very much and took care of me instead. I was the caree, which is lovely as well. So I'm going to be grateful finding the good in this negative-ish experience. So that is the story. All right, so let me continue on to my to-do list, which is quite small today. The first thing I wrote was work fail, 30 minutes, which I've already talked about. I think I was online for 30 or 45 minutes, and that was the end of my day. I did do 3 new Warm Up America rectangles, so here they are. 1, 2, and 3. I have to say, I mean, some of the yarn was donated to me, I think, by my mother-in-law when we were doing the hats. Some of this I've been doing what's called stash down, which feels really good. Like it's yarn left over from projects I might have done 10 or 15 years ago. Like this yellow, I think, back in the day. Now my boys are old; they're in their 20s. When I used to make a lot of baby blankets, I would sometimes make a primary color blanket for big sister or big brother. So this yellow is old, but I'm getting to use it, so it's kind of cool. In any case, that makes me feel good. That it's going somewhere and I'm making something productive with my efforts and time. I already mentioned that I had a robotics call, and I did do a little bit of reading on my Kindle, but it was a little bit, so I was resting my body, but using my mind a little bit, so that was good. All right, and that concludes the to-do portion of the day. I guess I could get credit for going to the doctor, getting dressed, and all that stuff, but all right. Let's move on to the to-do portion of the day. Now, you may notice a change here. I took the stuff that's normally on my to-do list off because right now I have different focus. So my to-do list starts with heal, rest, focus inward. Then I go on to order groceries and yarn for delivery. So I think I'm going to do that. Hopefully I'll get a time slot for tomorrow. There's some rumor that there may be snow going into early next week. So I'm hoping that's not true, but either way, it's time for more groceries. So I'm going to put that order in. Just didn't have the muscles to do it today. What else do I have? I'm going to call the doctor's office tomorrow to find out when they want me to schedule the PET scan. When I talked to the doctor last week or the week before, he said we'll do it after this last treatment. But I don't know if there's a difference, if you want to wait an extra week or, it's almost to the 4th cycle so that the medicine has the most time to kill the cancer, or what the timing is. So I wanted to call them to find that out. And then I can call the center to find out, to try and schedule. And just to also confirm, since we only have one approved, that he does still want to do it now and not delay it for some reason. So I'm going to try and do that tomorrow if I feel good enough to do that. And then the last 2 things, 3, I made a decision. I think it's the right decision. I want to do a couple crocheting videos. I think I'll make another playlist here on this video channel for a couple things. So the one I want to do, I had some more ideas for how to design a new sleeve, and that's part of the stuff that I'm ordering. I think I want to try to do one with buttons and elastic with a bamboo yarn, which is very thin. I crocheted early on. I showed it to you guys, but I didn't bring it up. Maybe I'll insert a picture here. Here it is. It's like a skull cap or a beanie in the bamboo yarn, which is quite awesome. It hasn't pilled at all, where a lot of the cotton and the other yarns, I don't know if you probably can't see here. It's not fine enough. But the cottons and stuff, they're pilling a little bit, and even acrylics pill. But the bamboo is doing awesome. And so, like, you know I'm having trouble heating up, so I think that would be good. And then if I work it with the elastic and the buttons in a way that's not obtrusive, then it could work for me when I'm on active chemotherapy and also when I'm not, with the elbow or without the elbow. I'm just trying to think. And I think if I could figure out the design and then make a video, it might help other people. I think I mentioned already, and there was a discussion in the chat about, oh, you should sell this stuff. But I'm not sure I would sell it, but maybe. I did a little Etsy searching. There was one woman in Canada that knits sleeves, but they're more like socks, I guess I'll call them. The placement of my pick line is very low. That's why I need this elbow, but most of them go higher or lower. So, but it's an option, so I'll consider it. If I can come up with a good design, that would be helpful. I thought if I just shared the pattern that other people could make it, but Bill thought, well, some people won't be able to make it. So, maybe we'll see where that goes. The other thing I want to do, I have a crochet pattern already that would need to be modified a little bit for slippers, which I love, made out of just a rectangle. And it's a fairly straightforward pattern. You make the rectangle and then you fold it over your foot and you put it together. But I need to just fine tune it so it's adjustable. Like I know how to make it for me, or somebody that was right here, but I would need to adjust the pattern so that anybody could do it from home. And I think I'd like to do that as well. So I'd like to do at least those 2 videos and share them, because I think it would be valuable. And just something to use my noodle on. And it seems like during these days when I'm not at my optimum, the crocheting seems to help. I don't know why. Where I'm not exactly, it's like a active resting meditation. I can seem to be able to handle it. So those are the things I'm going to focus on in the next couple days for now. And there's also a sweater I want to make, but I think I can't get the yarn that I want for that sweater for a little while. So I'm going to focus on those 2 for now. So those are the things on my to-do list. Let me move to Angel Delivery. We got a few groceries, just a handful, because I'm putting in a big order. And then also, I got some peppermint tea. And again, I don't know if it's going to work. I actually brewed it. I'm going to drink it after this video, or try to drink it. Peppermint tea has worked for me in the past during my pregnancies and my last chemo to help to keep my fluid intake up, as well as help with the nausea. So I'm very hopeful that this is going to work. And I would have thought I had peppermint tea because I use it so much, but I didn't have any. So thank you to the angel that delivered it. And we're going to try it out right away. All right. And I think that is all I have for you today. So again, thank you all so much for your love and support. I really appreciate it. I'm sad that I had to report not great news today, but overall, even though it was a cruddy start to a day, it wasn't the end of the world. And the day is ending nicely. And, I am hopeful that if I just rest and relax and don't push my body, which I've I've reported this to you cycle after cycle, but I'm not listening, then, I'll get through these next few days. It won't be easy, but it won't be impossible, right? So again, thank you for all your love and support. I really, really appreciate it. And remember, oops, I did it again. I love you guys. Remember, every day is a gift. Live it.